Hello everybody and welcome back to Full Throttle Drive. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. So I wanted to make a fun video about the C8 Corvette, and I've been doing a lot of research and keeping up to date on all the information we have, and so I thought I would make a video talking about 5 really cool patents that we are aware of that are tied to the new C8 mid-engine Corvette. Now if you're already up to date on the new Corvette, this video may not be for you, but it's going to be a fun video and we're going to talk about the essential need for these upcoming patents. Now, one thing I do want to note is that I get all of this great information from the MidEngineCorvette forum. There's a great group of guys over there that are Corvette enthusiasts, and they bring to the table all types of new information, and it's just a great place to be. And if you're interested, check it out. I will put the link in my pinned comment below. Also, make sure that if you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, support us, and also subscribe if you're new to the channel. We have lots of new information on all types of cars coming out, especially the C8 Corvette, as well as new videos about my R8. We've been wrapping it. It's been a great series, and we have a lot new content that is coming up for my Audi R8. So the first patent we will talk over is about active aero. Now, we know the huge benefits we gain from the use of active aero. The Huracan Performante proved to us the huge gains that we reap from using it. The new generation of Corvette could see several bits of active aero on the car. The first being active aero side skirts. The main purpose of these would be to help streamline airflow around the rear wheels, which would in turn reduce drag. The patents tell us that a sensor will detect the rotating speed of the wheel as well as the speed of the vehicle to determine if the side skirt will extend or retract towards or away from the road surface. The next aero bit on the car is the active spoiler. In my opinion, this is one of the coolest additions. Now, the latest ZR1 had 2 wing positions that did 2 entirely different things. One position would create downforce, while the other position was to streamline airflow and reduce drag. One component doing 2 opposite functions is incredibly valuable in my opinion. The downside to this is that you need 2 separate wings since the spoiler was fixed. By having a spoiler as active, it can be using its sensors to determine what is the best position to be in with different driving conditions. The result is better downforce for traction or less drag. The final bit of active aero patented by GM is the downforce generating ducts. These ducts will provide 2 essential things, one being that the car will receive better downforce for traction, all while providing more cooling for the engine, which being rear mid-engine is extremely important. One thing to note that we do not know is which models will receive this active aero. It could be reserved for the higher end models, but my hope is that we could see some form of use of it on the base. It's very cool technology. The second patent I will talk about is very important to me because it deals with something that, in my opinion, is the biggest drawback of the new C8 Corvette. Corvettes have always had the ability to be bought as a manual, and rumors have run wild that the new C8 will no longer offer this option, which is incredibly disheartening. Now, it's to be expected as manuals are being ordered less and less, and I made a video not too long ago talking about the reason this is happening and the increased performance gains of the new quick automatics. However, in my opinion, there is no true replacement for the driving experience you get from a manual. My C6 Corvette was a manual and it was incredible. My biggest gripe on my new Audi R8 is the automatic transmission. The feedback I get from it is just lackluster and not as enjoyable. The new patent that was filed essentially lays out a build to introduce a clutch-by-wire manual transmission into the new C8 Corvette. In past manuals, a hydraulic line was run to activate the clutch. The new system would use a sensor to tell an electronic slave cylinder to move the clutch plate. This would allow you to have a computer-controlled manual that you can still have control over. This means you also have a fun manual while having the ability to eliminate at times the boring parts of manual ownership. The third patent we will go over is a very interesting one. When I read this patent after it was first announced, I had never heard of such a thing. GM has patented an adaptive instrument panel. In layman's terms, this means that the instrument panel that you use to tell your speed and RPM, along with other various bits of information, would essentially move. The reason it would move is so that the steering wheel spokes would never block your view of it. When you turn your wheel in your current vehicle, at certain angles the spokes of the wheel block your vision of the instrument panel. This patent would allow the car to read the steering wheel's position and change the area that the information sat in on the screen, allowing you to look forward and see the screen in the correct area at all times. Now, what's so great about this is the fact that if you were doing some really competitive driving and you were needing that information to look at, it would always be in front of you. You'd never have to move your head to see around the steering wheel. And if you were making sharp turns, such as on a track, it would move with you. I know a lot of times individuals will use the heads-up display found on new Corvettes. However, this is another really neat addition. Now, one thing to note is that this may turn off a lot of individuals as an option, but with the panel being fully digital, this option would most likely have the ability to be turned off. The fourth patent I want to share with you all is about cooling. With GM moving the engine to the rear of the vehicle, you have the opportunity to show off that beautiful engine with glass. Engineers working on the new C8 Corvette want to take this to the next level. They want to allow this back glass engine bay to increase the amount of cooling allowed. Sounds like they have learned from the C7 Z06 overheating issues. The new patent lays out that the glass would be framed out with a supportive frame with a radiative and convective cooling properties. The frame would essentially be a magnesium mesh. The current Corvettes actually use magnesium for their strength and weight savings, so it makes a lot of sense that they will continue to implement this great material. Data found in the patent states the new venting system could increase airflow by 200% over previous designs. In addition, the new design would eliminate the bridge structure used in the rear hatches, which reduces weight. The fifth and final patent we will talk about resides around the doors. No, we won't be getting any Lambo doors on the new Corvette. However, we could very much see a power swinging door. The new system would allow for sensors and controllers to swing the doors fully open and fully shut, as well as lock them. In addition, with the use of sensors, the doors could read external forces that are used upon them to recalculate their output. This means that if you were to close the door yourself, as many of us would do as we're used to doing that, the car would recognize this and either stop its action or finish it closing the door all the way. It's just another way to make sure that the doors are closed fully as you walk away from it. You don't want to be leaving your Corvette accidentally opened or not fully locked. Well everyone, there are 5 really neat patents that we have filed for the new upcoming C8 Corvette, and I really think they're neat, all the way to the really interesting adaptive instrument panel. That just blows my mind, the fact that they're thinking all the way through this. I think they're trying to really impress us with the details found on the new upcoming generation of Corvettes. So it'll be interesting when we finally see the debut of what eventually comes with it and what does not. And the caveat I want to bring up now is that these are patents filed. However, many patents are filed for upcoming cars and they're not always used. It just doesn't make sense for a certain vehicle at certain times. So make sure you keep that into perspective. But what are your guys' thoughts on the upcoming patents, and what is your thoughts on the upcoming Corvette? Are you excited? Do you really want to see these patents implemented on them? And what also would you like to see on the upcoming Corvette? Make sure you leave your comments below. I love conversing with you guys all. I love hearing what you have to say. And guys, I really appreciate all of your support. And if you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already a part of the channel. Also, I wanted to note that we have seen the Corvette out and about. There's been some new pictures of the Corvette testing in different parts of the US, and so that's really neat. We are continuing to get more and more information as well as more sightings, so GM is continuing to push forward with this new platform change, and I really cannot wait to see it. Everyone, as always, you all take care and we'll see you next video.